Hi, Mariza.
Hi, Alan.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm great. So, who is Mariza Zeelie?
I am Mariza Zeelie, and I am the owner and founder of Floral Avenue, florist in Polokwane.
Great, great. So, when and how did you start Floral Avenue?
It started back in 2018 when it was only an idea. I really didn't actually know what I wanted to do, but I am very creative and passionate, and I knew I wanted to work with my hands. So I didn't actually have an idea what exactly to do, and I was working as a retail manager for a few years. So I know, I've got retail experience, but I do actually want to work with my hands. So back in 2018, one day I was driving and I saw this guy selling flowers on the street corner. And I actually thought to myself, this is actually a very clever idea. Maybe I can start a pop-up shop with selling flowers. And I actually thought, there's a gap in the market for that in Polokwane. And it's an easy way to make money. You don't have to own a shop, you can just do your flower carts and do a pop-up. So in 2018, I just started, creating my logo. I haven't even sold one bunch of flowers. And I just started, and how I started was I actually entered a bride competition for charity, and we actually competed against a few businesses in Polokwane, and we won the competition. So with the money that we won, I built a flower cart for me, and I bought some stock for startup, and then I went for a few floral courses just to see if I'm into this and if I really like it, and I loved it. And then in the beginning of in 2019, I took the opportunity to use Valentine's Day to do my pop-up shop in Mall of the North, and it went really, really great. That time I was still working full-time. And yeah, from there, I went, from being a pop-up shop by resigning my full-time job and then doing this full-time. And then I was looking for a location.
What inspired you to start?
I think what inspired me is that I am very creative and passionate. And, I wanted something for myself, my own income. It's the greatest feeling to know that you walk into a shop and it's, this is mine, this is what I've worked for. And also I come from a family that everyone has got their own business. They work for themselves, and I think that motivated me to also start my own business, yes.
All right, great. So is location important when it comes to being a florist?
I think location is very important because you get your customers that, like for instance, they walk into the nursery, they want to sit down and have a cup of coffee, and then they see the flowers and remember, oh, it's my friend's birthday, or, and then you can just walk in and buy a bunch of flowers. So yes, I do also think location is important. You don't always want to go to the mall and stand in the queue to buy flowers from Woolworths. So yeah, and for me, location is very important because you need a place to work from, to separate home and work. I think it's very important because I started to work from home. You need to separate that as well. I think it's very important, as soon as you come home, then you relax, you are at home. So I think it's very important to have a location and to have a place to work from and get up every day and know that you have to go to the shop and open and greet your customers and so on.
Oh, great. What was the initial dream about Floral Avenue?
I think when I started, I had this whole idea in my mind of, walking into a shop with fresh flowers, you know, the smell of coffee in the air, you know, and just a happy feeling of, you know, seeing all the lovely colorful flowers and, you know, having a space to work from, you know, that's happy. And, you know, flowers that smells great, and, you know, flowers bring happiness. And I think for me, I always had that vision in my mind of, you know, walking into a shop full of flowers. And yeah, I am doing that now. So that's great, yeah.
Ever imagined yourself to be a businesswoman?
I would say yes, since I was little. I think it's every woman's dream to have their own business, you know, and have their own income, and to build up something that they can say, this is mine, you know. Also, I would encourage young women to build up their own dream, you know, to be secure financially, you know, not to always rely on someone financially. I would say, you know, that's a great feeling, yeah, to be a businesswoman, especially a young businesswoman, yeah.
So, how long have you been at it, and how has the experience been for you over the years?
Well, it's been a little over a year and a half now. I've learned so much. In the beginning, you know, I thought to myself, how am I going to do this? I have this dream, but I don't know how to get there or how to do it. You know, I don't have any experience. I never went to school to study or anything, you know. But yeah, at the end, I made it. I'm still learning every single day, and I'm still motivated, you know. Yeah.
Great. So how do you find social media beneficial for your business?
I would say social media is great in these days now, because that's the way to go, you know. Advertising on social media, especially now with the pandemic, you know, people are using the internet nowadays. They don't want to go to the mall or stand in the queue, or, you know, they see something online and it's just easier, you know, it works for them. You order online, it gets delivered. I get most of my customers, you know, ordering on social media. So I would say definitely social media has a great impact on your business, yeah.
Great. And is it really important to follow your passion when it comes to business?
I would say if you are creative and passionate like me, then yes, definitely. I've always said to myself, if you do something that you love, then it won't feel like a day's work in your life. And it's true, you know. You get so lost in, like for me, when I make up a bunch, you know, because I smell the flowers and I look at the colors, and, you know, I just think to myself, this is great. You know, you get lost in this passionate work environment, and you like it. And every day it's different, you know. You get different seasons for flowers, you get different arrangements that you have to do for birthdays, anniversaries, you know, the funerals and all those stuff. So it changes, and for me, I like the change. Every day is something different, yeah.
Great. So how fulfilling is it to make a living out of what you're passionate about?
It's a great feeling. I would say, you know, it's kind of hard sometimes. You know, you have to work very hard to get what you want in life or where you want to be at. But hard work pays off. It really does. I mean, I would never have thought a year and a half ago that I would be here now, you know, having my own shop from where I started, you know, and I would just say, just keep on going, you know, just keep on trusting, and just keep on praying, and just keep on going. Every little bit pays off at the end. It really does.
Great. So what's your advice to upcoming florist companies that are still trying to figure it out, you know, in terms of the space that they're in their lives, how they should do business, finding the right location, you know, having competitors around them? What would be your advice?
I think I would say be different. Be different in what you do. Don't try to copy someone else's style, because you've got your own unique style, and that's what I want for Floral Avenue. I've got my own style, and I would say, that helped me. So I would say for young florists out there that's trying to make it, be yourself and live out your own style. You can also, there's a lot of social media influencers that you can go have a look at, and practice. You can't be making a perfect bunch the first time. You need to practice, and if you live out your passion and your style, people love it. So you will get into that, yeah.
Great. So is it important to specialize on one thing as a business, just like you deal with flowers most of the time?
It's not like I would say that it's in my idea only not to do like only flowers. The idea is for me to have a gift shop, later on, and sell a few other stuff, and not just flowers, but flowers is the beginning now. So yeah, I would say never stop at one thing. Always try out something else as well, Yeah, I would say definitely try out other options as well.
So how were you able to handle the tough times being in business as a woman?
It's tough, especially with the COVID-19 outbreak now. The pandemic, is quite a setback. Especially now with my new business, opening a new shop. I opened December, it was January, February, and then I got married, and then I went on honeymoon. So when I came back, it was lockdown. And then from there, so it's difficult, but you do still always get your anniversaries, your birthdays, your funerals, your weddings, and events. So that also, you just have to keep on going and work hard, advertise, even if you feel like it's not working out, you just need to try harder. Yeah.
On that note of advertising, is it very important to advertise as a business?
I think it's very important. I think, sometimes you think I don't have enough money to spend now on marketing or advertising. And I think, sometimes you have to. You're going to feel maybe it's not the best time now to spend money in a bad time like this. But people need to see you. People need to know of you. So I've seen all the time, as soon as I post something on social media, I get orders in. So I would say advertising is a big deal for business. Yes, you have to advertise, and sometimes you have to spend money on advertising, like branding your car, putting up signs, maybe an article or whatever. So yeah, I would say definitely yes.
Great. So do you get to find balance? How do you get to find balance between business and family now that you just got married recently?
Well, I would say, you have to cut off. You have to say sometimes, I work from 8 to 5, and then you need to cut off. Sometimes in the florist industry, it's a bit tough because you do get your busy days and you need to push, you need to work hard to get orders done. Like for instance, let's say your Valentine's Day or your Mother's Day, orders come flooding in. You don't have enough time to just work from an 8 to 5 basis. So sometimes, we do work throughout the midnight hours to get it done, but not always. It's just your busy days. It's just, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, but then, you have to find a balance between family and friends, and sometimes you do need to cut off and give yourself a break, to revive and be motivated again to go back to work. Yeah.
Great. So what's the importance of branding? Like, is branding important for business?
I think branding is very important, let's say for instance your logo. It tells a story, so you need to have good branding, you need to have a good logo. I think it's very important these days to have a strong logo and a strong slogan, and to give out your image of your business just through that logo. Yes.
So what's so special about your brand that keeps your customers coming back?
I would say that my modern way of styling the flowers, it's in my slogan, you know, step beyond the ordinary. I try to be different with my bouquets and the paper I use and the boxes I use and all those kind of stuff. And just the relationship you build with your customers, you know. I think I get very into detail with my customers to exactly what they want. You know, I ask them, what is the occasion, you know, is it for someone to cheer them up? Then, you know, you have to make a bit of bright and colorful flowers, or, you know, so I do get into detail with my customers, and I think that keeps them on coming back to me. Yes.
All right, great. So what has been the greatest experience as a businesswoman?
I think the greatest experience for me, I would say, is just to know that you've built this business from nothing, and walking into your shop in the morning and knowing this is what I've built up to now, you know. I think it's very rewarding to know that, you know, this is mine and I've worked for it, and, you know, this is great, yeah.
So what's the most strange situation you've been in
The strangest situation.
Yeah, the strangest situation, the weirdest.
I would say the one time I got flowers delivered to the shop, and it was not my flowers. It was completely different to what I ordered. And the lady who received my flowers also was like, this is not my flowers. And we actually had both weddings to do that same weekend. And it was time crunching. It was really crazy because we had to get the flowers to each other. The lady was in Zanin, so it was just, you know, crazy with the courier getting our flowers to each other in time for, you know, the wedding event.
Great. So how are you able to handle pressure being in business? Just now that you were telling me about Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, you know, so many orders coming in, how do you get to handle pressure?
Well, I must say, I actually think I work well under pressure, especially when you know it's crunch time. I work so much faster and harder, but sometimes you feel the aftershock after that. But still, you know, after everything is done, you will just be like, you're so proud and you got everything done. Somehow we managed to always get everything done on time. So I don't know how, but we just do.
Oh, that's great. So how do you get to maintain the professionalism and your style, you know, to always stay on the same level? How do you get to keep it there?
I try not to have a specific one style, you know. I like to change things up a bit, but still, you know, have the same image go out, you know, to my customers. You know, people want new stuff, and they want me to surprise them with continuous new stuff, you know, new styles and new flowers and all those kind of stuff. So I think it's important to have an image and stay with that for your branding and your business. But I think also it's important to keep it up, change it up a bit sometimes, yes, to keep people interested, yes.
Yeah, great. So does being in business need a lot of support from family and friends?
I would say yes, emotionally. It's hard sometimes, you know, you do get your days that you feel like, what am I doing? I mean, and you know, sometimes you just need to complain, you know, with family and friends and be like, listen, what am I doing? And you just need someone to tell you, listen, you're doing fine, you're doing great, just keep up the good work. So emotionally, yes. Financially, sometimes, yes, but not necessarily, no, yeah.
Great. So does it take school to be a florist?
If you are creative and good with your hands, I think not necessarily, no. I went for a few courses, but just to see if I will get into the floral designing, and if I do actually like it. And also, you know, you just need a few background, you know, what tools to use, you know, what to do with oases and what to do with the chicken wire and your lines, your structure lines for designing florals, you know, arrangements, yeah.
How do you establish trust between you and your customers?
I think trust, building a relationship with your customers are very important. You know, delivering on time is very important. Giving them what they wanted, as discussed, is also very important. You know, let's say the customer asks for pink and white flowers and you give them purple and blue, and then they'll be like, but this is not what I wanted. So I think it's very important to ask your customers exactly what they want and deliver that to them on time, and you know, still be professional about it, but still build a friendly relationship up with them. Yeah.
Great. So where do you actually see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years as a business?
In the next 5 to 10 years, with this pandemic, or
at any point.
Hopefully for me, when this pandemic, you know, is one day over, I would like to start an online shop. You know, that is actually top of my list now. To start an online shop for my customers, to make it easier. You know, sometimes we really get busy and we can't attend to all of our orders at the same time, you know, as detailed as we would talk to our customers. So my main goal is to start an online shop and then also expand on my business, you know, maybe start franchises in around Polokwane, Limpopo, you know, maybe Mokopane, Zanin, and, you know, just build your business. Hopefully in the next 10 years, I will have more than one shop.
Great, I love that. So what's the best advice you would give to women in business generally?
The best advice I would say is don't be scared. If you feel like, you know, you're not going to make it, just try again. You know, just try harder and believe in yourself. Sometimes I know as women we can put a lot of stress on ourselves and be really, really hard on ourselves, you know. And the competition is tough out there, you know. Sometimes you just think to yourself it's not good enough, but you are. And I think you should really just trust in yourself and believe in yourself and know that you can do it, you know. If you are scared, then you know you have to jump. You have to take that leap of faith. You know, you have to take that change and just go for it.
That's great. And would you still be a retail manager if you were called back into the industry? Or something?
Never.
What's the reason?
I don't know. I think after having your own business, you will just never go back to be working for someone. I think it's just so rewarding that you will just try your hardest to keep your business up and running, you know. But no, I will never go back to a retail manager just because of the hours. You know, retail hours are tough. Yes, also, you know, flowers, it's retail, you know, you've got a shop, but it's not as tough as, you know, working in a mall, you know, in clothing shops. You know, that's 9 to 7 hours, you know, it's tough. And weekends, Sundays, that's rough, eh?
Yeah, very rough. So how do you get to handle competition being in business, especially like as a startup? You know?
I think competition is very good because it keeps you motivated and it keeps your mind fresh for new ideas and what am I going to do next to entertain my customers, you know, what am I going to post this week for, you know, the shop. So I think competition is really good. And also, you know, you have to be a step forward, you know, you really have to.
That's great. And is it important to take breaks?
No. No, I would say we don't take breaks. I don't ever take lunch breaks. You know, I when I do, sometimes days goes by that I don't have, you know, actual lunch break. You know, I get home in the evenings and I will be, you know, eating my first meal of the day. It's just your mind is so busy and occupied of doing things and getting things done that you sometimes just forget to take a break. And I think, yes, it is important. You need to give yourself a bit of slack, you know, but yeah, sometimes it's difficult when you are really busy and having your own business, because things need to get going, yeah.
Great. And is it important to be prepared, like from the beginning when you go into business, or do you just flow and see what comes your way?
I think planning is very important. You need to have ideas in your mind. Planning is important, yes, but sometimes, you know, it doesn't work out the way you want, and you just then have to go with the flow, you know, work with what you have. Sometimes the flower prices are crazy at the market and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to buy other flowers then that are cheaper, you know. So sometimes it won't always go to plan, you know, but it is good to plan. But it won't always go as planned, if that makes sense.
Oh, great. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. So is there such a thing as a perfect idea in business?
I won't say perfect, no. I won't say perfect, but close to perfect, yes. Definitely close to perfect. I am a very perfectionist person, so for me, I want everything to be perfect. But I've also learned that, you know, it's not always possible. Yes.
So is it important to have a target market?
I think in my business brand, I think yes. My target market that I focus on is the more luxurious market, you know. The flowers that I do, especially like my gift boxes, you know, the mixed floral boxes that are my best seller at the moment. It's very, very popular. You know, it's something new, it's modern, it's stylish, you know, and it's luxurious, you know. I got the idea from other florist companies overseas and I really loved it. So I would say mostly for my upper market, you know, yes. I do target the upper market clientele as well, yes.
All right, great. What's the importance of having an employee?
I think it's very important to have someone, I won't say working for you, but with you. You know, you motivate each other, you know, when you're feeling down or it's too much pressure, you know, it's someone like that can take off a lot of pressure from your shoulders. And confidence that is working for me, she's really, really loyal, and she's also just as passionate about making flowers, you know, beautiful flowers. So we have a really, really good relationship, and I think it's very important to have a good relationship with your employee. You know, it just makes life so much better and easier for you. You know, we joke around, we eat together, you know, so we really have a great relationship, and I think it's important to build that up with your employee. Like I said, you know, not someone working for you, but with you.
Great. I like the part where you say not someone working for you, but with you. It means it's more like a partnership, like
yes.
You're building the business together.
Yes, definitely.
That's so great. And so how do you handle that relationship?
For me, it's, you know, you have to always be kind and friendly, even on your darkest days, you know. But you have to understand that you can't take it out on the person that's closest to you at work, you know. It's not fair. So yeah, and just build a nice relationship, you know, with your employee. I think it's very important because the stronger your relationship is, the more successful I think your business is going to turn out to be.
That's great. The stronger the relationships, which means they get to work with a
exactly.
fulfilled heart and
yes.
with joy.
Yeah.
That's great. And how are emotions associated with flowers?
Well, you do get certain colors that you do for certain emotions. Like, let's say romance, obviously, is your reds and your passion, you know, red is passion and romance, and then you get yellows, which is joyful and happiness, and your more orange is more energetic, and then you obviously get your whites and your blues that is more calming and peaceful, you know, for let's say someone's passing. And then I think pink is maybe friendship, but I'm not sure.
All right, great. So where do people find you?
We are located inside Greenwood Sidings Garden Centre, next to Mike's Kitchen, right next to Bakery Co. So if you would like to have a nice coffee and cake, then you can just pop in and say hello and check out our shop.
So where do people find you on social media?
Well, you can go on Instagram and look up Floral Avenue. We are on Instagram, and then on Facebook you can just also type in Floral Avenue and our page will pop up.
Thank you so much for joining us on our recording and stream. I really appreciate you for taking time of a very busy and hectic day. Yeah, thank you so much, and I believe this is it.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.